Kevin, you said you're a big believer in these games. Can you just maybe explain that a little bit more and why you've kind of scheduled these games throughout your career for the clubs that you've been a part of?
Yeah, look, this is a world game. That's what makes it so special. It is the closest thing to international language that we have on the globe. So it's a logical thing, first of all. It makes sense for teams from anywhere in the world, frankly, to play against teams from other parts of the world so they can compare where they stand and they can share the experience. Our league is young. Our team is younger. I believe that it actually adds to the long-term credibility of our club and our brand when we play against teams that are more established, that have a longer tradition in the game, clubs like AS Roma. And it's my intention to have at least one of these games every single year. I think our fans want to see it. We have an incredibly diverse fan base, and I believe a substantial majority of our fans get excited about these games. Obviously, we may be able to expose some fans who don't ordinarily come to our games or haven't become TFC fans yet, particularly out of the Italian community, who might look at something like this as an opportunity to get exposed to TFC. So I am a big believer in these games, and it's something that I intend for us to continue.
This is for both of you gentlemen. Usually when these games happen, there's some kind of agreement in place that certain players have to play and certain players don't have to play. Is that the situation with this game?
Well, we intend to play our first team. So, that from a competitive standpoint, we want to win. And obviously we're going to be evaluating players and we're going to be putting a lot of players, out there. But overall, this isn't a situation where we're bringing anything but our very best.
And I think the same thing for us. We're not, I don't think our first team or Roma's first team is going to be playing 90 minutes. But we'll see the first teams on the field against one another. And it's a good opportunity for our players to measure themselves. It's a great day of work during the course of a normal week. And it's for those people who question it, in a normal week of preparation, our team would be playing some version of as close as possible to 11s for probably 45 to 50 minutes on a Wednesday anyway. So it doesn't really take the team out of rhythm at all. It makes actually some pretty good sense. It's a time of the year when we're fit, and we're not too worried about the players' ability to handle it.
I believe there's a domestic fixture for TFC on the Sunday before that. Has there been any look at moving that or moving a game after that?
Well, coincidentally, New England has talked to us about the possibility of moving that game if they were to win their Open Cup match tonight. I think we probably would then look to move that game to Saturday. But that's really up to what happens it's their game. It's a game in New England, so it's not something that we control. But we have had that conversation with New England.
Kevin, you mentioned that a lot of your fans like these type of games. There is a significant and vocal minority that don't like them at all.
Yeah.
Could you speak to them?
Yeah, I don't know how significant it is. I think it's probably vocal, and it's, there's a lot of tweeting about it and things like that. But I heard from, when I met with people, particularly through the winter, I heard many, many times from people that they were looking for significant international games, and they wanted to know why we hadn't played more of them. So I understand that the naysayers on something like this are always going to be somewhat vocal, but I think it's the right thing to do, and it's something that we're going to continue to do.
Even if you're playing in the CONCACAF Champions League, you'll still?
Well, we'll see at that point. That's an if. Typically these games we would know typically if we were going to be in CONCACAF usually before these games get set.
Okay, Mr. Zanzi. I have a big fight with a lot of friends that because all the time in the summer games, all the top players, they don't show up. I'm telling them that this time, because it's August 7, it's far away from the Confederation Cup and all the different tournaments or something. I am 100% sure that all the best players will be here. Can you confirm this?
Sure. I mean, we have an expansive North American tour that we're planning. The first component will be the MLS All-Star Game. Then we'll be doing some training in the Northeast, and then we'll be here in Toronto. We have another match we'll be announcing shortly. But this is a major part of our preparation for the season. This is not a vacation. This is a real competitive endeavor, and something that also ties into our global brand building. But to answer your question directly, our first team will be on our tour. Our first team will be participating and playing. Obviously, it is preseason, so like any other franchise, you're going to be, resting players, trying out players, but we're going to have our first team all throughout our tour.
Thank you.
Other questions? No. I have a question for Mr. Zanzi and Mr. Payne. It's possible that between Toronto FC and AS Roma can start a relation that's gone behind a simple soccer game and exhibition game. For example, I don't know, exchanging of players, coaching, and that kind of relation.
From my perspective, absolutely. I mean, we have a long relationship with Kevin, with Mr. Leiweke, with the club, with Commissioner Garber and the league, and a lot of it really is very simplistic in the sense that our ownership is American, I'm American, and we have, I think, a mutually trusting relationship, and we're very, very willing, obviously, to explore any sort of partnership, and this is going to be a great impetus for that, I think.
Yeah, I would agree. For our part, this is something that we haven't really begun yet. It's my first year here. But I am a believer that there are many things that we can learn from clubs around the world. I also believe there's opportunities for us to look at players, mutually, to look at players. I know that the AS Roma technical staff that visited our training ground yesterday was kind of blown away by the quality of it. It's comparable to the top facilities in Europe. And so I think that AS Roma certainly understands that we're a serious club with real ambition. We will be looking to create relationships with a number of clubs around the world from different parts of the world. And because of the relationships that we already have, it would be logical for us to have that conversation with AS Roma.
And just to confirm, we did have a group doing kind of an advance this week, actually today and yesterday here, and they could not have been more positive about, one, the hospitality shown to them, but also the level of the training center and the seriousness of Toronto FC's operation. So that only gives us more confidence that it's a terrific organization to partner with.
Thanks. Other questions? Okay.
This is for Kevin too. I mean, can you just talk about the benefit of maybe young players or players that Ryan can't maybe get into a first team game, getting experience in this game and being in a situation where Ryan can actually, examine them a little better?
Yeah, thanks, Kurt. That's something I should have mentioned, but that is one of the values of this game. So, and it so happens that a number of our younger players who aren't getting too much time right now figure pretty prominently in Canada's plans. So to the extent that we put a second group on the field, it will be a fantastic experience for them, far better than any experience they would get in a reserve league game. For them to have the opportunity to play against players of this caliber, Serie A caliber, is a great opportunity, and it'll be a great opportunity for our technical staff to see how they respond to that. So. That's one of the profound benefits of these kinds of games. Your entire squad gets an opportunity to play. And that's not something that you can do every day. To play in an atmosphere like this will be and against players like this. So it's a great building tool.
And similarly, even though our team may come from a league with a little more history, from the top down, we have a very humble philosophy, and we believe we can learn from every game as well. So for us, it'll be an honor to play against Toronto FC, and I guarantee our players will come off the field the better for the match as well.
Are you both confident the game will sell out?
Well, that's his job.
Yeah.
But I can't see why it wouldn't, right?
I certainly hope so. I certainly hope so. I should clarify, this game's not in our season ticket package, but our season ticket holders do have an advance opportunity to buy tickets for this game. Their opportunity will begin on August 3rd. July 3rd. July 9th, there is a one-day sale for insiders, Toronto FC insiders who are not season ticket holders. That jumps the line, so to speak, by a day, and then on the 10th, the public sale begins. But we certainly, Kurt, we're certainly hopeful that the game will sell out.